did, just not on the mound, as we welcome in Denny Matthews. And so this is a big deal. And Luke got a nice ovation when he was announced into the game, and really felt for him because he really seemed to find his niche right before he got injured.
Yeah, he sure did. And I did a long interview with him that we used on rain delays during spring training, and it really hurt him both physically and emotionally to miss that much time. And he's done a good job of bouncing back, and he really appreciates now what he had. And I think that goes through a lot of guys' minds when they miss a certain amount of time. So, boy, I bet he's just happy as he can be to be back out there.
I remember just that empty feeling that I had in March of 2014 when we found out that he was going to have Tommy John surgery and done for the year. And he came out of the clubhouse in that little area behind the clubhouse in surprise and met with the media. 2-1 on Michael Bourne, and you know, he just stood there like a man. You know, it was very emotional, and he refused to feel sorry for himself. But what he kept talking about, that I'll always remember, he said, what bums me out the most, because he knew he'd come back eventually. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I won't be able to participate in the dog pile when we get back to the postseason. Well, as it turned out, he did participate in the dog pile, but that was just a very sad day.
Sure. And you go through all that rehab, and you come to the ballpark, and you go through the weights, and you do the bike and the treadmill. And the worst thing about that is that you are still a part of the team, but you're really not, because you're not on the field. And so you feel like you're in a little bit of a vacuum, and it's not a comfortable feeling.
In a very short period of time, and they're taking a little extra time here, as Salvador Perez has been nicked by a foul ball for about the 3rd or 4th time today. In a very short period of time, Luke went from a starter just trying to find his way and stay in the big leagues to an elite reliever. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. And then who would have thought that losing Luke Hochevar would have resulted in Wade Davis? I mean, that was a huge question mark for the Royals last year. Who was going to handle the 8th inning?
Yeah, and all that did was set up one of the best, if not the best, relief job in any one year of any pitcher.
Yeah, Sal got hit again.
You know, you stop and think about Davis last year. That was almost perfect. He was almost perfect.
Right.
Man, is that hard to do on this level? Whew.
See where this one got him. Breaking ball. Oh, off of his ankle. Sometimes there's just not enough padding.
No. And the ball's going to find the area where there isn't much or any. Amazing how the baseball does that. How does it know? How does the baseball know where there's no padding?
It's really not good.
And Sal is as savvy as anybody. So he found a way to walk off that foul ball off of his ankle to go to the mound, and then he stood up and had a couple words for Hochevar, discussing the 2-2 pitch coming up.
And went hobbling back to his spot.
Seeing, don't throw that one again.
No, in that spot.
Struck him out. And for Luke Hochevar, that is his 614th major league strikeout, but I would think one of the biggest of his major league career.
And with that strikeout, he now feels like he's back as a member of the team.
He'll feel even better if they can get through this with a win, capture the series. You gotta like how the Royals management treated him this spring. They babied him. They coddled him. They said, you know, we're not going to bring him back until he can go back-to-back innings. We're totally comfortable. His velocity's back. And this is exactly what they did.
And that allowed him to relax and get back at his own pace.
Wow. Hard curveball that just came in out of the clouds. 0-2 on Roberto Perez.
That's a beauty there.
When I talked to Luke in spring training on our little interview, he said that I asked him about his early days, and he was talking about first time he ever had on a baseball uniform. Look at that.
Ooh, that's a beauty.
Luke said, I was 6 years old. I had on a uniform for the first time, my first game of Little League baseball, and I was out in left field. And he said I had a big glove. I wasn't very big. He said I was really skinny. He said he had a glove that weighed more than he did, and he'd put it down to the side, and the fingers of the glove would be on the ground. He said that's how big that glove was. He said, man, I was in a uniform in a game. That was something I'll never forget. He said, how'd you do in the game? Well, I didn't get any fly balls or any action out in left field, but I did strike out twice. And so it started.
.95 miles an hour inside, and 2-0 on Jose Ramirez. 2 seasons ago, Luke Hochevar made 58 appearances, all in relief, and had a 1.92 ERA. The league hit 169 against Hochevar. 2-1.
Yeah, you know that guy right there. He's saying, wow, just what the Royals need. This guy to come back.
On the ground to Hosmer. Luke Hochevar is back.
It's got to make him feel great.